And there we are, and it says, we are live. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Asakura Mining and Prospecting for our segment of Straight Talk. Tonight, I have the esteemed privilege of presenting to you a dear friend who I've actually met face-to-face for real several years back. Doggone known him for a while. He has a wealth of geological and geochemical knowledge that with what he will present tonight will be of use and of benefit to us casual prospectors, or even us that are doing it a little bit more than just casual and looking to maybe do business investment with it. And it's my esteemed pleasure to introduce to you Rockbutcher of Canada.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate it too. I know how valuable and how busy your time is, and for you to say, you know, hey, let's go with it now. Boom, man. What, a day or two notice of that, and here we are.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's all good. 2 more days, and one more day. I got a Monday morning at a crack of dawn. I'm heading back to the mine, so let's get her done now.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I'm going to start this segment off then, and I want to basically ask the question. So this is the opening of the interview side of it, which is going to be very short, and then we're going to let you run with the master class for the rest of it. So how did you get into geology, geochemistry, and this kind of particular field for getting into working with mines? What prompted you to have an interest in this field, this direction, and this kind of schooling? And where are you with it today, and how long you've been doing it?
Okay, so way back when I was a little kid, my parents used to buy me books on rocks and minerals. And I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, there were those books where at the back of the book, there were these big square stickers, and you had to tear the sticker out and go to find a certain page and stick, oh, this is what coal looks like. You stick the sticker on it, you know. And so, yeah, books like that, you know, got me interested. And then in 76, I would have been about 11, I guess. And 76 to 78, 10, 11 around then, my dad got posted to England to the gunnery school. My dad was a gunner in the artillery, Canadian artillery. And we were down in the south in Wiltshire in Larkhill, and a stone's throw from Stonehenge. As a matter of fact, I used to ride my bicycle around those stones when I was a little kid. And
wow.
So, yeah, it was my buddy Mark Fox. That was his dad's field. It was a sheep field. Now you're not allowed within like 1,000 meters of it, you know. But,
yes.
It's a World Heritage Site now. But no, long and short of it is that my dad has always been interested in history and stuff. And so he took me around to a lot. There's a pile of Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, you know, sites all around that area. And so that got me into the kind of the archaeology kind of concept. Okay. And so then after the Army, when I got a chance to go back to university, I took, you know, my first year I took archaeology, but I also took a couple of geology courses because I thought, wow, this would be interesting, intro to geology, whatever. And I ended up, long story short, talking to the archaeology professor, and he said, you know, you'll probably do one big dig your whole life, and you might do a couple of little ones, and then you're going to spend the rest of your career just writing about that one big dig you did. And I'm a country boy. I'm a field guy. I love being in the bush, and I'm the explorer, you know, strap on the snowshoes and let's go. And so I was loving geology, and I stuck with it, and that's what got me into it. And so that's really how that went. The chemistry choice kind of came about halfway through the 4 years when I started leaning on towards the geochemical side. We had one really fantastic professor by the name of Dan Schultze, and I did my thesis with him. on kimberlite geochemistry, which was for kimberlites are the pipes that carry diamonds to the surface of the earth.
Right.
And so that's when it really that's when things went really good. And of course, then I graduated right at a time when diamonds were discovered in Canada, and so that kicked my career off right away.
Oh,
And,
sweet.
yeah. So since then, I mean, I've worked on 5 different continents, both on surface and underground. North America, South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. The only 2 I haven't hit are Australia and Antarctica, and one of those is out of bounds to geologists. So to industry boys anyway, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Wow.
I haven't missed much, that's for sure. I've done lots of pretty much everything you can name except for I won't do coal. There's too many. My family members died in the pits up in Scotland to back around the Industrial Revolution. I won't touch coal, but I've done just about every other product you can think of: tin, tungsten, uranium, diamonds, copper, gold, copper, lead, zinc. What else? I don't know. Other stuff. Oh, yeah, palladium, platinum group elements. I forgot about those. Palladium,
PGM.
platinum. Yeah, PGM. Yeah. So
Any rare earth?
Yeah, did that too. Just outside of Thunder Bay here. Yeah, we were chasing down big pegmatites up there. There's lots of them. It's a German company. We're just waiting for them to get more financing, and then they actually want to pull me back in. So, which would be the catch me out for me, because I'd be an hour and a half away from home in case I had to run back, you know. So
I'm sure you've heard your share of black lung stories as far as those coal mines and things.
Yeah. And as we say in the hard rock, especially quartz mining with all that silica, you know, a touch of the silicosis keeps you warm on a cold February morning. Yeah. No. I'm sure Victoria is very cold. I don't know if it's the same in America, but in Canada, we working underground, you have to go every 2 years for a lung X-ray, and then there's a set of doctors across the country that your name is on file, and they check your lung X-ray every 2 years. And I've never known anybody to get plucked out, but they do track it.
That's good. That's good that they do that. So how long have you been in your professional field, and what kind of mines do you work with generally now these days?
36 years I've been doing it, and nowadays it's almost exclusively underground, although there's some open pitting, including this project I'm on right now. Parts of it might go to open pit. But in the past, I've done my share of placer. I've done placer up in the Yukon. I did placer in Ecuador, 2 different sites. Mongolia and Central African Republic. So, and those were either, most of those were gold, but the Central African Republic was actually diamonds, which was pretty cool. And one of the 2 in Ecuador, there's Bad Idea Lab just showed up. Hey, buddy.
Joe, good to see you. Thank you for coming.
The northernmost river I did it on in Ecuador is called the Rio Santiago, and that is the river where the Spanish conquistadors discovered platinum. And then they brought the slaves, the African slaves, over to mine it. And to this day, when you go up that river into the jungle on the western flanks of the Andes, the villages they're African. They speak Spanish, buenos dias, señor. And I want to look at them and say, balo, mingi. But it's just like, you know, it sets your head spinning. But yeah, it was really cool there. And we used the big wooden bateas, and you'd be spinning them down, and there you got yellow, 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 white. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's really cool, you know? And yeah, that was neat. So anyhow.
So, okay, so 36 years experience, and you've seen a wealth of stuff all across the world. So how does that relate to your special title that you've got over here?
Yeah, that's a long story, but let's just
world-renowned geologist.
Renowned. Yeah, no. I've been married twice, so that's where that goes. But yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, that just stuck on there from another channel. It was a joke, but it's good.
Well, we are in for a treat, everyone. You can hear the experience that this man has. He's seen a whole lot of the world in places you probably would never get to go, especially just the average person. So he's definitely seen a lot, done a lot between geology and geochemistry and working in mines. Man, my hat's off to you for your career and for your acumen. And I'm highly interested to see what you are going to now present for us with this now phase of the interview, really more or less turning into the master class than interview. So I give it to you to take it away and present as you wish.
Yeah. All right. The thing is that I want to look at it from a couple of different point of views. Like, I don't think there's any other geologists in channel, but I'll. Mandy Candy is in the house. Hi, Mandy.
Hello, Mandy. Thanks for coming.
But like it's fun, and it can be fun.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to start out with a couple of really, really neat things that kind of just show you how diverse the whole science is, right?
Right.
I don't know can you make me big in the picture or
yes, let me get to.
I'm going to show you this is a fossil.
Let me see about getting around to that here just real quick if I can. That's participants. I thought I could. Maybe it's these snow. That's polls. I'm trying to get there, but it's giving me banners. I don't want banners. I had the button back when we tested it out just a moment ago.
Okay, well, it's not the end of the world. Believe me.
Yeah.
This is a fossil. I got it when I was a little kid. Like I said, we were in England, and it's a little hard to see, but along this edge here, there's a bunch of horizontal lines running down. This is a type of palm tree that grew during the Carboniferous period, so just before the dinosaurs. And the name of this fossil is Calamites. And that's the Latin name, yeah. And I got this as a little boy when we were in England. My dad drove us up to Scotland to show us where he was born and the coal mines around there. And I was trudging around on the waste tips around the Polkemet pit. And I found this fossil. Oh, now you made yourself big, not me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there.
Now we're both
That's a little bit bigger.
We're both even. There's a way to make me big. Anyway, so I found this fossil in Scotland, right? Okay. So we'll set that one away.
Nope, not that one. Okay. I'll just stay with this.
Totally not the right one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
let's just go with this bigger.
That's fine.
Okay.
This is a piece of drill core. All right. This is sandstone. I drilled this down in the province of New Brunswick, which is on the east coast of Canada. And on the edge of it, I saw this spot of pyrite. And when you see a spot of pyrite in drill core in sandstone, typically there's a fossil inside of it.
Yeah.
So
how about that?
I opened it up, and inside it's Again, hard to see. You have to believe me. This is a piece of calamites. You can see that. You see the stripe. You see the lines.
Yes.
Horizontal line. Yeah. This is also a piece of calamites. Now,
how you doing, Eyes Relentlessly? Thank you for coming into the live stream today. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. So we've got two fossils now, same species. This one's from New Brunswick. This one's from Scotland. Both the same age, both from the same rocks.
Really?
How would that happen?
Very interesting.
Well,
yeah, because Scotland's not that far away.
It's because the Atlantic Ocean did not exist when those two plants grew in the same forest.
Okay.
You see?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But continental drift, the Atlantic Ocean wasn't there. The split happened after those plants died and were stuck in the ground. So, I mean, there's a cool piece of geology right there, right?
Sweet, certainly is. Certainly is.
So now we'll go on to another cool one. This is another piece of drill core. This is much, much older. And what you see there, they look like eyeballs. Those round balls are actually, they're not pyrite. They're a thing called marcasite. Marcasite has exactly the same chemical formula as pyrite, but it's FeS2. But instead of in pyrite, where your iron is here and your two sulfurs stick off at about 90 degrees, which gives it a really good ability to form cubes, right? In marcasite, they stick off either side. And it's typically associated with organic processes.
Wow.
And so what this is a shale. It is, and it's a well-studied shale, and it's been dated to 1.865 billion years old. So it's almost 2 billion years old, okay? And these are bug farts.
Literally?
You heard me correctly. Yes. These were bacteria that were living. This is pre-oxygenation. There was no oxygen in the ocean. The oceans were very acidic. There was no oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere. Okay. That hadn't happened yet. And these organisms lived in the mud and consumed iron and tooted out sulfur, right? and formed this stuff. Now, what you're seeing, the white stuff around it, that's a result of metamorphism. Like they look like eyeballs. That's because this rock has been compressed this way. Initially, it was like a mudstone or something. And so the rock itself was very compressible, but the little balls of marcasite are not. And so what you're seeing, that white stuff is calcite. And the calcite flows because these are the low pressure zones around the edges of the high pressure was on, like it was like a pebble that you couldn't crush, right? So it leaves a little pressure shadow, same as river leaves a pressure shadow behind a rock. And that's where the calcite all flooded into. So that's really, really cool. And I actually have one that I extracted from the rock. I think that would be about a 42 caliber, maybe 45. You could probably shoot that out of a black powder pistol.
It looks like a musket ball.
It's almost spherical. And because they are encased in calcite, I just used a little hydrochloric acid. I stuck a chunk of rock in a little glass bowl and let it sit for a couple of days, and then picked away at it with a pin. And I ended up, so that's my own personal bug fart right there.
Oh man, that is highly interesting. Wow.
Isn't that cool? Okay, now, because like I talk about billions of years and millions of years and everything like that, I dragged out a really highly technical teaching tool a training aid, if you would. Huh? It's called this. I don't know if you guys have seen one of these before.
Okay. Don't go to the field without it.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So now what I want you to think about doing is I want you to think about taking this, this end here represents today. Okay. And you take this out on the street in front of your house and you roll the whole thing all the way out to the cardboard tube. And then picture that as the age of the earth. Okay. So there's today, and there's when it was a molten blob of lava sitting in the middle of space, right? And the dinosaurs come in about 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Okay, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. That's when the dinosaurs walked on the earth.
Wow.
This is today. All right. I've only unrolled this much of it.
But only 7 sheets or so, huh?
All right. Yeah. I'm not gonna unroll it all the way to show you where the bug farts come in, because my wife would make me roll it all the way back up. But they come in about halfway towards the end of the roll.
All right.
That's how long ago we're talking, right? So like life has existed on this planet for a very, very long time. And we look at the fantastic, the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are like 3 sheets of paper on this thing, like what about everything else? And the amazing thing about it, I don't know if you can see, but right here on the very, very end, I've drawn a black line.
Yes.
You know what that black line is?
That's got to be today.
No, that black line is the length of time that human beings have walked on the surface of the earth.
Okay. So very small in comparison to
all. That black line represents 4.5 million years. Yeah. So it's what's Australopithecus afarensis or whatever, the first hominids. Yeah. So it goes to show you, like, that's how long we've been around. And at the same time, we're saying, oh my God, we're doing all these terrible things to the planet. And the planet has been around for this long. Okay, just fine. She'll get rid of us before we get rid of her. That's for sure. So
and don't show the environmentalists that.
I'm not a climate change denier. I'm a climate change supporter, because you know what? Where I sit right now, 10,000 years ago, which is a blink of the eye in geological terms, there was 1 mile of ice directly above my house. Now there's no ice. So things have been warming up for quite some time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That concludes the fun part of the geology.
And to think, everybody, you can have so much fun with geology with just a roll of toilet paper. Incredible. I love it.
Who'd have thought it? But I mean, like, you talk, when guys start talking billions and millions, it's like 100 billion, 200 billion. What's the difference, right? When you know it, like a roll of toilet paper, and I'm talking like halfway down that roll, then you could visualize it, Yes, and especially when you see that little black line.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So
let's see. Joe said that was very good educational demonstration, buddy.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, it looks like Stacy's here now. He says, stand by, had a water leak. Keep an eye out for him in the back room there.
Just come backstage whenever you're ready, Stacy. I sent you the link, so you just come backstage when you're ready. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, my advice for prospectors, people who want to get into it, or people like yourself who are hobbyists and that kind of thing, who've been doing it for a while, is really what you got to do is you got to, especially if you've never done it before and you haven't got a spot, you got to educate yourself a bit. And there's a number of ways of doing it. Jim and I were talking privately. Jim and I keep remembering to point the wrong way. We're talking about it just before the show. There's some really good books out there. Jim's got one. If you could show them yours. And then
I got this is what I've been mentioning in the promos. A very old, well worth wait if you can pick one up.
If you could find it. Now in chat, I'm gonna drop. Oh no. It's too long. I can't type. What the heck? That's bizarre. I'm going to quickly go back here to the page. And rather than copy pasting the whole thing, I'm just going to go.
I'll just show a few more pages of the book while you're doing that. So when you find books like this, everybody, libraries used to have these books back when Jim and I were kids on the library shelves all the time. And text lines are squinched together. It's in a 7x9 hardback that is like about 1.5 inches, sometimes 2 inches thick, depending on the report and the PhD that's doing the report. They sometimes have diagrams, cross sections, black and white pictures.
Yeah.
These things are worth their weight in gold. So if you find a good old hardback like this, and plus it is history, because you don't see these anymore unless it's in a used bookstore or somebody's collection.
Okay, so in YouTube, I dropped a shortened link, but that will that's the name of the book. It's $20.30 or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was given that book as a gift when I was a 1-year-old geologist, and I still carry it. I still carry it with me to this day, and it's a fantastic tool for identifying minerals. It makes it really easy to identify the minerals because they're broken out by color, by crystal form. And there's all kinds of pictures. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 different pictures of the same mineral. And reference to a page, it tells you all about it, tells you the chemistry of it, tells you how it forms, why it forms, and association with other things like metal, like gold or silver or whatever. And then there's a section that tells you where you can go in North America to collect, if you're looking to collect that specific mineral. I use it because it tells me associations with other minerals. But if you're looking to go collect minerals, then that is the perfect book for you. On top of that, I've got, this is a newer version. His was Rocks and Rock Minerals. Mine's Rock and Rock Minerals. Different authors, but mine stems from 24. His is from back around the same time. And this is still given out in universities in first year. This was a first year text for me, and I still carry it with me and I use it. Okay. Sweet. There's a lot of pretty heavy reading in here. I got to tell you, like if you're just a hobbyist, but if you persevere with it and go through it, there are definitely gems that you can dig out of that. Now, on top of that, continuing, educate yourself. A lot of states publish books like this. Okay.
Yes.
And this is Jan Rasmussen. I had the honor to meet her, and I was back about 2 years ago, and she's one hell of a geologist. Let me tell you, she knows more about Arizona than Wyatt Earp. And so the thing is that, and these things, and these again, I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot of stuff in here that is, complicated material and things like that. But what there also are topographic maps. And if you're looking for a creek that flows out of a known gold area, this is where your information is going to come.
Yes.
So on top of the books, and these things, I mean, I still use. I have it. I use it. On top of that, go to your state websites, your state
Yes.
geological survey, and not just your state geological survey, but the USGS as well, like both
Yeah.
the federal and the state level. And
Yeah.
you would be amazed at the maps that you can get, and interactive maps, like where you can, okay, let's turn on gold occurrences, and all of a sudden, bing, all the gold occurrences that are registered with the government appear in your on your map, and then okay, well, that's where other people have found gold. Maybe I should go look around there. It's usually the best way to find it. And so and then, but those maps, they'll also show you if the ownership of the land. The last thing you want to be doing is walking onto somebody else's mining claim, right? Because you'll get in big trouble, and most likely from the guy who's carrying the gun. And so you just, make sure that you're. Stacy's asking for the link again.
Yeah. I'm going to see from WhatsApp first. If not, I'll put it in.
Gotcha. So anyway, use your governments, your state governments provide you with powerful tools. Like it's in the state's interest for you to find a gold mine, because if you find a gold mine, you start paying taxes to the state, right? So they put all this effort into gathering all this information together. There's all kinds of wonderful geologists work for the state or the province in my case, and they gather all this information together, and you just ask, like a lot of it is completely free. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, there you go, Stacy.
Yeah. So so that's like when it comes to, like I say, educating yourself, that's really a good place to start, and just sit down, get online, go to the, whatever your state is, go to their geological survey, look up the USGS, Bureau of Land Management stuff, that kind of thing. It's a lot more complicated in America than it is up here in Canada, but
it's what I did when I went to Arizona for the first time in 2015. I went to the state geological department, which was not too far from my friend's house that I stayed at. And Niall Knight was the geologist that was there, and got a bunch of great information and things from him and his assistant. So definitely go and check out state USGS, just like Brock is saying. Check out your local library special collections section too. Sometimes they have some interesting tidbits as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's jump into placer mining a bit. Alluvial mining.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The thing is that everybody, especially the unless you have the wherewithal to save up a bit of money to make a big road trip or something like that, the bulk of prospectors are stuck in their local area or somewhere close to nearby where they're going to be able to look. So let's just talk about gold, here. And so there he is. How are you doing, Stacy?
Oh, never.
Yeah, don't ask. Yeah, I hear you.
My wife and my daughter-in-law got, way too exuberant, and went to put a window AC, in, and dropped it on the kitchen faucet.
Oh.
Most of the kitchen faucets now are just, cheap plastic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And boom, broke. Now we had a water fountain. And,
wow.
$85 later.
You got a new faucet.
Yeah. With the sprayer now.
Well, she always wanted a sprayer. Maybe that was just her way of making sure it happened, Stacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Joe,
And it was dripping, you know what I mean? That little tiny, you reach your hand up there and touch it, and it just, so it was like, oh, got a water leak, so I had to tighten everything back up. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
I got Joe here saying that unfortunately so many people don't even know how to decipher a topographic map.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to figure it out, but it can be a challenge for somebody who's never done it before. But it comes pretty.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to figure them out, you know, but they tell you what's going on the map, you know.
Yep.
Read the lines.
That one's literally read between the lines.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, continue on, guys.
Right, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries. No, we were just getting started with talking about placer mining, but so you have to. I mean, everybody understands, or a lot of people understand. You know, you look behind a rock, you look on the inside curve. Why do you do that? Because that's a low pressure spot, just like that core I just showed you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But there's other factors as well, like you know, what's the water speed? What's the river current? You know, is the velocity enough to carry a 0.5 gram flake of gold? Like, you know, so if you're like poor old Jason up there in Wisconsin, Flower Gold Wizards, and all he's got to deal with is sand, you know, then unfortunately you're going to get teeny tiny flower gold, right?
Welcome in, Share Bear. Good to see you. Thank you for coming and supporting the channel as you do. Thank you so much, Share Bear.
Hi,
Hope you enjoy. This is going to be great to listen to what this man's saying. Check it out.
So, like, I've always been a big fan of, you know, if there's no gravel there bigger than a baseball, I don't even look at it. You know, and keep moving upstream, because there's we call it, the technical term actually is a nick point, and it depends the size of the gold. Okay, like when the water's coming downhill at 45 degrees, it's going to carry pretty much everything it can, right?
Oh yeah, it's going to roll.
But then as that slope starts to flatten out, there are different points geographically where it'll start dropping, you know, smaller and smaller, and then finally, of course, the flower goes all the way right out, right? And so, ideally, if you can, would be to get as far up there as you can into the higher energy regimes, and you'll still get small stuff, but you'll also get bigger stuff, you know. And so, like, I won't get into the, you know, like where to look and that, because I mean, I think everybody and his dog has videos on it, but one of the things that you do have to pay attention to is the speed of the water, because gold is a hell of a lot more dense than anything else around it, and it takes a real surprising flow to actually move that stuff, right? So
I found that it, you know, faster water, you know, real fast water right on an inside bend, you'll find bigger stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Because, you know, it's blowing through that, you know, the flower gold is still suspended, but the bigger stuff has enough time to bounce through and hit and drop down behind a rock or something.
Yeah. And the other thing with flower gold is it tends to be very flat, like almost like a playing card.
Oh, yeah.
And so it acts like a sail. The second it gets, you know, up like this into the current, it's like boop, and away it goes, you know? So that's one. And actually, while we're talking about that, another thing is clay. You don't want to have clay in your pan. You don't want to have clay in your sluice box. Clay is an individual particle of clay, actually looks very much like a playing card. And they are so small that they actually develop electrostatic charges, opposite charges on opposite corners, little positive and negatives. And that will stick, believe it or not, gold to it. At which point, now you've got a sail attached to a sail, and away it goes. So that's part of it. And the other part of it is that big lumps of clay. Of course, gold is hydrophobic, right? So gold doesn't get wet. And so you get the double damming effect that it not only takes the really, really super fine gold and takes off with it, it will bounce down your sluice box and it'll pick up every piece of gold that it hits and then run out the end of your sluice box. Right? So you definitely 100% you don't want to have that in your box.
Okay.
Avoid clay.
I have, and I already know this answer, but I want somebody who's smarter than me. So, with the electrostatic pieces of, clay and gold and that stuff, what breaks it better than anything?
My favorite's Dawn dish soap, but
There we
jet
go.
dry also works as well. And that'll break the electrostatic bond.
But the best I have found personally is Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn dish soap. And the nice thing about Dawn is that it's environmentally friendly. You can actually use it at the creek, and you're not going to get dinged by the ministry.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I'm just, there's that. Oh, well, there's no electric static. No, there is. In minute particles. These little things float around in the plus minus. Oh my God.
I guarantee it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had a scrubber in Central African Republic where our clay problem was so bad because diamonds are also hydrophobic, right?
Yes, they
so
are.
They stick to clay. And we actually had a drip feed of Dawn dish soap. It was a massive tub. They shipped it over to us in these big, gigantic tubs, and we just kept filling it up. And it was just a steady drip feed into the scrubber. So we're making suds all the time, and but not crazy suds. But it was enough to break that bond and actually scatter the clay so that the clay wouldn't glom up and grab all the diamonds before it buggered off out of the mill. So, yeah. No, I've used it industrial. I've used it, just on my own at the side of the creek. So
I've done, Dawn, which I love. I've done jet dry, and I've done other surfactants, but my favorite's Dawn.
Yeah, jet dry is better for breaking the surface tension, but Dawn does both really, really well.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And then at the creek, you can wash your dishes.
Bring down last
so friendly.
Exactly.
Oh my.
All right. Let me okay, before I share my screen, I've got a couple of pictures I want to show you. It depends on where you live in the country. The most dynamic example of this would be the Mississippi, and the least dynamic example would probably be the rivers and creeks up around you, Stacy, because they're relatively young. But over time, rivers move. It's called progression, and they progress over time. And so, typically, like you as a prospector, if you're going to look for placer stuff, you want to take a look for a spot where a river has a steep slope on one side of it and a relatively gentle. What's up, Jim? Oh, Jim's got to go. A relatively gentle plain on the other side of it. It might not be very wide. It might be 100 yards, but that shows that the river is slowly eating its way into that mountain. All right, as it moves to the side. So now that Jim's left, I won't be able to share my screen for a minute. But the point that I'm getting to is that you have to remember. Okay, he's back. The point that I'm getting to is you have to remember that where the stream or river originally flowed, it left bed material there, and then over time it's worn its way down and down and down into the valley, and so you get
It has moved and dropped and
right. Okay, so I wish that in a couple of the operations I worked at, I actually took photos of this because it was textbook. I should have, but I've drawn a doodle that I want to share with you guys. There's, which one do I want to do here? Window. Let me see.
Number 2.
No, it's oh, I guess I actually have to open it first. Okay. So it's open. Oh, what happened? Window.
I don't know.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit share, Jim, if you could bring that
Yep, I
up.
got it.
Okay, does everybody see my doodle?
There it is.
Oh, of course.
Can you see that? Okay. Now, there's a whole lot going on here, but follow my cursor. Okay. So what you've got here, this is bedrock. So imagine that's a big rocky hill going up in the distance.
Okay.
And this line here is the ground level. All right. Leading down to the river. Here's the water, the little ripply water, a nice tree by the side of the river.
Hey.
And so let's just say that up here is where the parking lot is, and everybody parks their vehicle. They unload all their gear, their shovels and buckets and pans and everything, and they run right down the hill, jump in the river, and they mine the gravel that other people have been mining for the last 80 years.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They do. That's what people do.
Yep.
And they don't understand that over time, that river has moved from here, number 1, down to number 2, down to 3. And the way I drew these things is very important because this is precisely how it looks when if you could take a giant excavator, this is a cross section through the creek, of course. If you could take a giant excavator and dig a trench all the way down the side here, which I, as a matter of fact, get to do, you would see that it's kind of like a half a riverbed is left because the other half has been reworked as the river was moving to the left in this picture. And so you get the kind of a pointy end, a big thick layer that just stops. And then just over from it, you get a pointy end, and a little deeper down, there's another big thick layer. And so now this overburden, I mean, it could be anywhere from a foot to, I said, 30 plus feet deep here.
Right.
But the reality is, like, you can, if you're walking down to the river and you see partway down the path, there's little round gravels on the trail. Step off the trail and dig a hole, because nobody in the last 80 years has sampled this rock right here.
And them golf ball, everybody's looking for them big cobbles. Sometimes them golf ball ones are pretty nice too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it all depends on the size of the gold you want to find. The bigger the cobbles, the better the gold, and typically the richer. But at any rate, I mean, if you're out doing it for fun, and then Godspeed, right?
Oh yeah, I dig everywhere.
Now
I'm like a gopher.
Now what I've done down here, this is more from if you're going to go in there and magically you buy a piece of land and you're going to go and mine it yourself. You got to keep in mind that this stuff is almost impossible to mine with an excavator. This stuff is really seasonal. You're way farther ahead being up here on benches 1 and 2. And that is why the Chinese made so much money in the California gold rush, because they were relegated up to the high terraces. And so their only problem was water, right? But they got to mine stuff that nobody had ever touched. And whereas everybody else was running this material 3 or 4 times through sluice boxes, and they were all running virgin material all day long. So
yes, sir. I see that. Yeah, indeed.
So I mean, that is, that's just kind of like, think about it. Like if you're walking down here, you could be walking over millions and millions of dollars worth of gold to jump in here and get, $5 worth of gold on a Saturday afternoon or something.
Right.
Okay, so let's go to the next one.
Well, I was doing a little, I had the week off for, the Memorial Day, and really kind of stomped around on the claim, and I actually found a couple more hand stacked walls on
Okay.
the claim.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, wow, I always stayed at the upper end. I never really went down to the bottom. Well, actually, I had a roll of TP in my hand and was looking for, but then it was like, ooh, wow, I never seen that before. Wow, I'm gonna have to come back to this.
Yeah,
Be careful with that roll of TP. You might be destroying the Earth's timeline with that.
That's right. The Earth's timeline gets shorter and shorter the more you use it. Or the black line at the end of it gets thinner and thinner depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah, I'll have to do next time we're up at Butterfly. I'll have to do another video of the other those other hand stock walls.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, you should draw a little sketch map of where they are and which way they go, and that'll give you an idea of what they were doing and what they were chasing.
Yeah, cross section it certainly.
My thing is I think where we're digging, it was holding pond for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So they hadn't really dredged it, because they dredged a bunch of that whole area, and there's dredge piles above and below, but not right in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was a holding pond right through
It
there.
sounds like it. Definitely sounds like it.
Yeah. All right. Can you have you shared this sketch here, the sidewall sketch?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. So now what you're doing is, you imagine we take a slice the other way. The first one was across the river, and this one is down through the edge of one of the terraces or one of the river beds. Okay. And I've seen precisely this as well in a strip mine. All right. So here's the surface of the earth there's Rockbutcher right there. And in the wall, because we mine it in panels, if you look at Parker Schnabel, he just takes the whole bloody thing in one shot. We were taking it out in panels, so you would have pay dirt at the bottom of the wall at the bedrock interface. And then we would strip another panel down to pay and take the pay, and strip another panel down to pay.
How's it going, Jason E. Miner? Thank you for coming in.
These things are pretty wide. But so what you'll see is, as you're digging down, sometimes you'll see these gravel, like they're less than a foot thick, typically, little gravel layers in. And what that is it's a flood event from when the channel. If you think back to my last one, where those terraces were all stepped up slightly from the current river, when one of those was the current river and had a flood event, it laid gravel back on top of the dirt that was laid down over the original riverbed. And for flood events, I've never had a good result mining those things. They're really picky to mine because they're so thin. They're picky to mine mechanically.
It's really thin and
they're so thin, and there isn't much gold in it. So for the time and the effort of running the machine and trying to strip down to it and then scrape it off and load that in a truck and run it to the mill and then keep stripping down to everything, you're farther ahead just to take the whole load and throw it away. But that's me as an industry guy. For someone who's doing it on their own, you may well have a great day of gold panning out of one of these little streaks if you happen to find one, on a riverbank or something like that. The other thing to keep in mind, if you find one of these on the riverbank, or if you're in the river and you find gravel in the riverbank, is it may not be a flood event. It may be the toe of the previous river bed. Remember back to the other one?
Yeah.
Yep. The other picture. So you should definitely take a look at it, but if it's really thin, I wouldn't pay attention to it. So
yeah, if you're punching down through, if you're digging and, getting hit good gold and then going down and then it peters out, that's your flood gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So,
and, you can make a decent living or a little bit on that layer, but the better is down, as he is showing there.
Yeah. When this is like, when in this situation where I'm drawing this picture, you can assume that the person who's mining this has drilled enough holes to know where the pay layer is, that they're going to focus purely on the pay layer, right? And everything else is waste, right? So whether they've drilled the holes or they've done test pits, whatever, mechanical excavating, that's fine. Now, but one other thing that I really wanted to point out to here, and okay, see you later, babe. The girls are going out for a walk. It's a beautiful day.
Have a good walk.
No, now they're leaving the house, so now we can talk dirty and say swear words.
Oh, great. Mother.
Bring that gold porn.
Any rate, no, this one of the things that I have learned in my experience, this tallest tree thing, that's no baloney. If you're in a place that has not been logged and you're on an alluvial plain and you know where the pay is roughly, the best mining is underneath the tallest tree. Bar none. I've done it 3 times and it's worked all 3 times. And the reason is that the tallest tree has the deepest roots, which means there's a dip in the bedrock.
Oh,
all right.
So
now,
so tree hole is a good thing, huh?
That's correct. Okay. So as long as it's the tallest tree, as long as it's the tallest tree. So the other thing that you need to understand is that the surface of the earth today bears very little resemblance to the surface of the bedrock. And I've seen this time and time again. We encounter these massive, clearly, like there was a huge creek flowing through here at some point, joining into the river. And but on surface today, there's like absolutely no expression of it. Like and it's gone. Like it's dry. There's nowhere. There isn't even a little rill, running on surface or anything like that. So it's like, holy crap. And the reason, I'm going to get a little technical here now. The reason that you will find stuff like this, why you need to look for stuff like this to find stuff like this, is because there is no surface evidence of where those creeks, those intersections were. And those intersections are always very high priority targets for placer mining. Like I was saying earlier, 10,000 years ago, there was a mile of ice above where I'm sitting right now, right?
Well, yeah.
And at the end of the last ice age, there was a tremendous input of water into the world's, the water cycle of the world. So things like the Sahara Desert was green. There are massive rivers. You could see canyons flowing through the Sahara Desert highlands. North America is no different. There was a tremendous amount of water movement. But as that ice melted, what happens now is a thing. Some of you might have heard of it. It's called isostatic rebound, and
Yeah.
that is, it's like, okay, in the morning you wake up, you're lying down on your mattress in bed, you sit up and you get out of bed. What happens to your mattress? Your mattress rebounds.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Think about exactly the same thing, but with the rock, the bedrock. We went from 10,000 years ago, we had this absolutely enormous load of ice on this rock.
And now it's pushing back up.
And now it's gone. And now rock doesn't pop back up quite as well as your Coil Master does.
Right.
But, it does. Over time, it rises. And I think there's places in Canada where it goes up by just over an inch a year, right?
Wow.
So as that crustal rock, now keep in mind where the ice sheets were. They were up in the north. They got down into Wisconsin and that, but that means that North America, Canada, and the United States is tilting upwards in the north, which means it's tilting downwards in the south. And that's causing the rivers to change direction and prograde, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
The river that flowed here at that time is no longer present here because the rocks have moved. The rocks have risen and the water doesn't flow that way anymore. So, it's just something to keep in mind. That's the reason why this will happen. And you'll say, what the hell? What's going on? There's no sign of a river up here. So, anyhow, that's that one. I stopped sharing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Curtis, good to see you, brother. Share this out for us, Curtis. We need everybody that's able to come on, pop on in. They're missing a great master class right now from Rockbutcher here. So definitely tell some other peeps in your circle, my man. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Go ahead, Jim.
So
I'm having a little problem with my my jig thing that I'm making. I made mine sealed, and it's just pumping up. But do I need a hole with like a flapper valve in the bottom to drop out, or just a regular hole to drop out the
fines, whatever goes through the screen? Just a regular hole.
Just a regular hole.
Just a pipe.
Okay.
Just a PVC pipe on the end of it.
Okay. I was getting a little bit of it, but then it was like, then do I have to tear it all apart to, you know what I mean, to get the cons out, or do I drop them at the bottom with a flapper valve?
Because ideally, if you're doing a jig, I love jigs. I do. I really do.
They are amazing.
They are. And if you're running a jig, your cons are what's left on the bottom of the screen.
Right.
Everything else that goes through there is undersized. And then in theory, you take that and pass it through another jig with a finer screen.
Yep.
Okay. Or you can take that material that comes out and then put it down a sluice. But I would tend to put it through. I mean, how fine is the screen on your jig?
1/8 inch right now.
1/8. Okay, so that's really coarse. Yeah. This is my first jig I've been working on, and I was like, okay, so where's the water go in it packed? I didn't have a hole in it, and it packed up, and it was a mess, and it was, you know what I mean? Yeah. In my mind, probably the easiest thing for you to do would be to simply, for starters, your screens have to be removable. I've seen jigs on the market and you can't take the screens out, and they're oh no, you got to do this. And then the guys, they put steel balls in there. Forget it, man. Just get rid of the steel shot. You don't need it. The thing is, a jig is going to jig, but it's important that you have an outflow on the top of the jig, so your lights are always coming out the top, right? And that's garbage. You don't reclassify it or anything. You just that's
junk.
Tails. And anything that goes through, you would catch. And then ideally take that screen out, take your 1/8 of an inch out, flip it upside down, and your cons will be right on the top of a cake looking at you. Place a finer screen in and then rerun it.
Okay.
Or if you win the lotto, you have one jig with a core screen leading to a little trash pump that pumps everything else back directly into a second jig with a finer screen, and then out into a even finer screen jig, and then out onto a sluice box. And so you'd have 3 sets of screens all running at the same time, and the material would just go through like that. And all you have to do is just keep feeding it on the front end.
Well, that was my thing is, that very bottom funneling it down after the
no, all you're doing is
the screen. Does it need to have just a hole in it, or do I need a flapper valve?
No, if you put a flapper valve or anything in there, it's just going to be, it's going to block it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The bottom, underneath your screen, at the bottom of that cone, should just be an open hole leading to a tube that either goes into a 5-gallon pail, or the fancy world goes into a trash pump and up into another jig.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my I couldn't figure that out. I all right. Thank you.
Yeah, no, totally. I love jigs. They're fantastic. They're really, really effective. And
they just
we used them, that diamond mine I told you about, Central African Republic. We used those up until we got a much bigger plant. And they were the cat's meow, man. And I actually built by hand a little sluice box, and the real fine stuff coming out the far end of it, which is like with diamonds, you don't catch anything. You don't even try to catch anything less than 2 millimeter. And so I built this little tiny sluice box, and it caught all kinds of little flower gold in it. It was great. And I just let it sit there for like a week or two, and then I go and clean it out and pan it, and I get, maybe 0.5 gram or something like that. It was there wasn't a lot of gold in that mine, but I mean, we were processing lots and lots of tons per day. But so 0.5 gram was, there was nothing there, but let it go for a week or two, and it's fun. But
I want to welcome Theresa Jawiski into the chat, and Jake of Deep North Adventures dropped in on us here as well. So hello, Jake, as well. Good to see you guys.
Deep North.
If y'all can share us out, please. We got a wonderful master class going on here with the Rockbutcher, who's been gracious to give us his time, and this has been awesome so far. So yeah, let's continue with what you have there. We're 8 minutes into the second hour.
Into the new hour. Holy jumping, time flies.
The new hour, yeah. So just want to let y'all be timestamp reminded. So we're hour 8 minutes in. So far so good. Jim, great information that you're presenting. I just want to see also if you would touch on a little bit of the hard rock mining in contrast with the placer mining, because we know it's going to take more startup costs to get into a venture that starts dabbling into hard rock mining than you would placer, because it's not that costly to go and trench an area. But if you start going and working on big mountainsides and everything else, you're talking about all kinds of stuff, costs, regulations, MSHA, Blasi.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Yeah, I
started
mean
with them jobs.
that's a whole different kettle of fish, you know. So, if you're prospecting and going back to what I said earlier, moving upstream, crossing the nick points, starting to find coarser and coarser gold, and then all of a sudden you don't find any gold at all. Well, you've gone by it, right?
Yeah, looks
And
right.
so let's turn around and start looking along the banks of this river and taking a look at what gravel is sitting, on the sides of the banks and that kind of thing.
Look left,
That's
look
when
right.
you're gonna, holy moly, look, here's a quartz vein, So then what do you do? Well, the number one piece of advice I'd give you at that point in time is find a guy like me and ask him, that it's totally before you get yourself in way over your head. But and keep in mind that most of us, you could ask around, ask me if you want to ask anybody. Like guys like me, I wouldn't still be doing this 36 years in if I went around blabbing everybody else's secrets. Like, do you know how many guys like you I've gone and worked in the field with, and looked at their rocks and taken their samples and, and, proposed joint ventures with other companies and stuff like that. I don't talk about any of that. And there's a reason for it. And even if I didn't sign a piece of paper, they want to sign a piece of paper, okay, sign a piece of paper. Like, I'd be a freaking idiot. Like, like doctors don't talk. Hey, man, you wouldn't believe what I saw up Mrs. Smith's backside today. Nobody talks like
that,
professionals.
Wait a minute, we're not going into posterior squeezing right now.
Posterior squeezing. Yeah, that's an inside joke from a couple of shows ago. That's a good one. Well, anyway, when you start talking hard rock, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
Hard rock is.
Because you all of a sudden you've got in the United States now. It depends on what land it's sitting on: federal land, Bureau of Land Management land, state land. In some cases, it may cross two boundaries, so now you have to deal with both of them. And both of them
deal with BLM.
BLM will tell you one thing, and the state will tell you something completely contradictory, and you have to do both things in order to comply. And it's like, how do I do? No, it just it gets really, really complicated. And then, permitting.
It's one of the bigger problems there is permit.
Up here, we're lucky because it's kind of a one-stop shop. Like, mining in Canada is provincially regulated and controlled. The feds don't do a darn thing except for take their taxes off you. So the thing is that we've got like one point of contact with the government, and then they'll say, okay, plus you have to contact, okay, here's the First Nations, because duty to consult the First Nations is built into our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And so therefore, I do all of my applications to the government, but at the same time, I have to keep the local Native tribes up to speed on what's going on, what my plans are, where don't they want me to go, where can we go? Like if I got to build a road, here's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? And so that's a kettle of fish. And I've always done quite well with it, but I've heard of other places that I think it's all your attitude. Like if you show up being a jerk, you're going to get treated like a jerk, right? If you show up waving bags of cash around, you're going to be paying till the cows come home. So you got to kind of walk a line in the middle there, and which is the way I do it. But,
and the state way worse.
100%. 100%.
So how much power does the First Nation have in Canada?
It's pretty strong. They can shut a project down for years and years and years and years.
Shoot.
And like, if you're being an ass about it, they can. But now, I mean, the parallel to that is the environmental groups in America. Environmental groups in America will shut a mine down for years and years and years and years because the United States doesn't have. In Canada, we've got a law. It's I think I want to say the word vexatious. Like in yeah, no. Like, follow me here. Like in Arizona, there's a mine that's been trying to go into production for over 20 years. There's an environmental group that takes them to court based on this.
Oh.
And the whole thing has to go through the system, and then the judge kicks it out, and the mining company says, "Great, we're ready to go back again." And then that same environmental group comes back with almost the exact same claim again, but they've changed one or two little things.
Yeah.
And under American law, that whole thing has to go all the way back through the system again. And when clearly, all they're doing is trying to stop this thing.
Right.
And but their arguments hold no water. So in Canada, I think it's not vexatious. There's another word for it, but it's litigation that's designed to just stop something from happening. You keep bringing the same case forward over and over.
Yeah.
The judge keeps throwing it out, and you keep bringing it back again. And in Canada, you're only allowed to do that twice. And the third time you show up, the judge just tells you to GTF and lets the project go ahead. So
we just call it stalled topics. Yeah.
In both countries, we have similar issues, but from different groups. And so
try to eliminate it here.
The difference is you can't really negotiate with an environmental group. But you can definitely negotiate with a group of Native peoples. So that's probably the biggest hurdle. And then second to that is the environmental one. But the reality is that modern day mining now is so technologically advanced that there's very little cause for concern at new projects of future environmental damage. I mean, we all hear horror stories about tailings dams bursting and stuff like that. Those were dams that were probably built in the 70s or the 80s, or even before that.
60s or the 30s.
Yeah. So,
hello, welcome to the chat shoot. Thank you for coming in, Richard. Appreciate you being there. Retired Navy Rob, good to see you, my brother. If y'all would, please share the live stream out and help us out here, get it out so we can continue on with Rockbutcher here. That he's given us his time and give us this master class. So thank you guys for coming tonight. I certainly appreciate it. Go ahead and continue, Jim.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Richard, for showing up. So that's not your first worry when you find this thing. It's like, holy smokes, how much is there? And how do I get it out of the ground? And the average person is drawn to the shiny spots. And so you'll knock a bunch of samples off and you'll send them to the assay lab and you spend, $200 on 6 assays or whatever. And they come back and they're all like, oh my God, it's like 2 ounces per ton, 3 ounces per ton. But what you did was you sampled all the shiny stuff, right? And there's a lot more to a deposit than just the shiny stuff. And believe me, most of it's not that shiny. And so, you need to have an understanding. And that's where, when I said, go find a boy like me, or a girl like me. So, the thing is that they will understand the idea of sampling things statistically. Don't bias your samples. Oh, there's a shiny bit. I'll take that one and put it in the bag.
Yeah.
You know, and with that information, you get a much, much clearer picture of what you actually have in the ground. You know,
Hello, Quavo Prospecting. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, Carlos.
From hey, Cuevos, how's it going? Yeah, from that point of view, then you might want to look at, if you're really rich, you could drill it. Or maybe you want to cut channel samples across with a rock saw. You could do that. You could trench it with an excavator and take a look and see how far down it goes. If you have a blasting permit and you're allowed to do that, you could do it. You set up your own little mill. If you are allowed to process material, what are you going to do? Watch your environmental regulations, right? Where's your water going to go? How are you going to deal with dust? What about noise? Are you near a town? You know,
Right.
And so, like, there's a million things that pop up as soon as you say hard rock.
Oh,
so, yeah, things get really tough.
Yes, man, something. So,
Okay,
what else you got in the store for us there?
So the old joke is, how do you end up with $1 million for hard rock mining? From hard rock mining, the answer is you start with 10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And once you spent 9 and you still don't have any gold, you go, well, look at that, I got $1 million.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a small person's game, that's for sure.
Okay.
I
have a little question about, there's some really good, pyrite. It's kind of a seam up in Spider Mine, and it's green rock.
Ooh.
And with all kinds of pyrite.
Oh yeah.
Is that okay, or is
what
that
kind
good?
of green?
It's like lime green, I guess, for lack of a better word. With cubes that are like 1/4-inch cubes of pyrite, and it's just kind of injected into the rock.
So the lime green matrix of the rock, apart from the pyrite.
Yep. Well, the pyrite is in with the green.
I get you. But is it all? Can you see other crystals in that lime green rock, or is it all super fine grained, or is it medium grained, like the size of coarse sand grains kind of thing, or?
It's from what we brought out, it's medium grain, I guess.
Hey, Sono, good to see you. Thank you for coming on in, my brother. Please go ahead and share this out as well, like Richard has been doing as well. Thank you for coming, Sono.
You'd have to take some really good pictures of it and send me, Stacey. I remember you talking about this, a year ago, I think. Yeah. And the mineral, and I'll show you guys a picture of it in a minute here. I sent it to Jim there a couple of weeks ago. I was up at the mine.
Yes.
But you guys don't have that kind of gold generation in the USA. I'm talking about greenstone belt, so it's Archean age, 2.6 billion year old. You don't have rocks that old down there. So the mineral I'm thinking of, which is lime green, is actually more like a bright emerald green, but the picture you're going to see makes it look kind of limey green. It's called fuchsite. And on the one hand, I want to say that like everybody says, look for tracer minerals to look for gold, like look for sulfide. Gold rides an iron horse. Everybody. Okay. Yeah, sometimes, right? But sometimes it doesn't. And there's lots of iron horses around that don't have any gold in them.
Right.
but it okay, it's a rule of thumb. 15% of the time you might be right. There's others like look for silver. Look purely for quartz veins or whatever. What are indicators? This mineral that I'm talking about, fuchsite, which is a bright green, is the only mineral that I know that when you see it, it's telling you, hey, dummy, there's gold within 100 meters of here.
Okay.
And like I sent Jim a picture of a hole that we were drilling through an ore body. We just hadn't got to the ore zone yet. And there's like fuchsite, and
yeah.
So I'm curious because I've seen large bands of that, but I'd have to look at your geology map too. I'm going to throw a big word at you here, but have you looked at geology maps of the area?
I will have to. I'm going to send you like a GPS pin when I hit Spider Mine.
I think you gave me one already, but okay. Because if there's ultramafic, that's the big word I was going to throw at you. If there's ultramafic rocks in the area, then it's conceivable that you got fuchsite. And if that's the case, then yeah. And you guys have got gold out of there. So,
we've pulled some.
Yeah, I know
some really nice stuff out of there.
So yeah, I just couldn't, by description, I couldn't begin to. It could be a sediment. It could be, it could be an altered volcanic layer. Who knows? So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the worst is you park in the parking lot and then it's another 1.5 miles uphill all the way.
I'll take the helicopter up and meet you at the top.
Yeah.
Take that million you got left over and just put in.
I got left over from that other failed attempt. Yeah, why not? Let's make it. Let's double down, brother.
Put in
I'll carry up a chainsaw and knock you down a helipad. Right next to
Just don't cut down the tallest trees.
Yeah. Make sure we leave the tallest one there, so we know where it's at.
They're all like 6-inch pecker poles up there.
Oh yeah.
It's all
Okay, that doesn't count. No.
Hello, thank you for coming.
That only works in floodplains, Jim. You got
share us out.
You got to be in the floodplain, Jim, to have that work.
Yeah.
Sides the tallest tree on the sides of the mountain doesn't mean a thing. Yeah.
We got Buddha who big time supports me on the fitness side of things and all into the chat. So thank you for coming, Buddha. Please share this out because this is some excellent masterclass stuff that we're getting today. So thank you for coming. I appreciate it so much.
For sure.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm gonna step away from the computer here for a minute, and I'll come back and join you.
All right.
Getting ahead, huh?
Yes, sir. You don't buy it, you only rent it. I'll be right back.
Exactly right.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
All right. So Rockbutcher will be right back. He's taking an intermission while we're nearing the bottom of the new hour. So thank you for everybody who is coming and joining us in this with our professional geologist, geochemist with the Rockbutcher. If you've never done prospecting, if you've never done gold mining, we're getting a great wealth of information and everything with what he is presenting. So this is pretty much more of a master class than it is an interview, although I asked him a few interviewed questions from the beginning. But definitely share this out while we're still broadcasting, and definitely go back and rewatch and replay this for your own interests and all, because the whole world has always been fixated on the metals as far as like currency exchange and things of value from back into ancient times. So with what he's putting out, if prospecting is something you might consider one day as a hobby for yourself, or maybe thinking about possibly making an investment into doing a business with it to some degree. He's been putting out wonderful information. Go ahead, Stacy. Go ahead.
Has forgotten more than we have ever thought about, with him
Mm-hmm.
being a geologist, he's seen it all, he's done lithium, he's done gold, he's done diamonds, he's
He's
a
done
super
it.
wealth of knowledge. And,
He, he's
even
done it on
asked him
5
earlier
continents.
about jigs, it's,
And especially now that you've done it on 5 of the 7 continents on the planet, that tells you that he's got a wealth of experience.
yeah,
And how many of us average people get to come close to even a tenth of what this man has accomplished in his career?
yeah.
The 36 years as a professional geologist and everything. So
Oh, yeah.
awesome, definitely awesome sauce. So
Yeah.
what else do you, I'm going to finish scrolling through the chat a little bit. I've been keeping up with it pretty well this time for a change. If you got anything you want to talk on and subjects you want to talk on until Jim gets back, Stacy, go ahead.
I say the only one I seen new was Richard Green and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have to. I got a pan over there that's gonna be amazing. I've been lazy about it, and I bet you there's over half a gram sitting over in this pan.
Oh, wow. Can you see
From
anything that
from Butterfly.
do you I don't have anything in the house here. Do you have anything as far as a sample would go to be able to showcase real quick to show the people in chat what some gold looks like?
Well, hang on 1 second. Let me.
We definitely gotta wet their whistle, until Jim comes back. But thank you, everyone, that you've been showing up and coming in. We are on a time crunch now because I got a notice that Brewers Prospecting will be going live in 30 minutes. So we have about 25 good minutes here left to finish talking on topic, and then you say our goodbyes, and then everybody's going to be funneling over the brewer. But yeah, Stacy, if you have some,
a touch of a snuffer dump here.
Come on,
and
Stacy, show him that gold, buddy. You know what I'm bringing up next. Later, right at the end.
I'm going to have to go outside and get my big piece of bull quartz.
No, I want to go and babysit his rock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I can do, and I hope the camera picks it up. I got to move my beard kind of out of the way. But if you people can focus on that and see that. Now, of course, I did purchase this from a good jeweler in Colorado Springs where I used to live.
That's pretty.
So this cost me $250. And if you're wondering what gold looks like in a big piece, this is what it looks like. It cost me $250 about 5 years ago. And that's before all these gold prices have shot up exponentially. You got something there, Stace?
Oh, hang on. I'm spinning it back.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a rush job. Come on.
Even if you only just get a corner or something, you don't have to pan all day down to the finest. I just figured if you had something, you could showcase that real quick before Jim got back, but he beat you, so you lost anyway.
Yeah, keep working at it there, Stacy. I'll show them some other stuff. In the meantime, Richard Green was 5 or 7 continents. It is, man. And I'll tell you, like, it's not because I'm some famous dude. The bulk of that happened early in my career when I lucked out and got working with a really good mining and engineering firm out of Toronto, and they're not around anymore. They were called ACA Howe International, and I went in there all kind of cocky. I just come off the diamond project in Africa, and this is a company that if your mine is broke, will fix it, but they'll also send they'll also send you off, to do exploration work and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I got all cocky and said, no, I just want to do the diamond jobs. And my boss at the time, who to this day is the best boss I've ever had, a man by the name of Dino Titaro, you can look him up on LinkedIn. That guy, he said, Jim, you smarten up. You're going to take every single job I give you, and you're going to like it. And broaden your horizons. You're just a young geologist. Don't get all cocky on me now. And so I said, yes, sir. And off I went, and I did copper, I did gold, whatever, wherever they sent me, I did it. And that really broadened my horizons. So a lot of those, when I say 5 or 7 continents, that is a true fact. But when you look at, let's say, Europe, for example, I was in Romania for 6 months, and I was in Albania for 3 weeks, so, how is that really, does it count? I don't know. But, in terms of a 36-year career, a lot of the jobs were kind of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Some of the jobs were a year and a half, almost 2 years long. Like West Africa, Pura Mine, I did a feasibility study there, not a pre-feasibility. Jim was alluding to earlier. Jim was this way, that way. Okay.
Yep.
The camera's backwards. I got it. Yeah. At any rate, talking about the finances, that I don't even want to open that can of fish. We could do that another night when everybody's really, really bored or really, really high. And, then we could talk about that. But, so I have, I've done that. And Richard Green asked again, opal mining. No, that's one thing I've never, ever done. We don't get to do that in Canada. There are some opal deposits in Western Canada, but they're all little vugs in like vesicular basalt. Oh, there's some gold.
Yep, there we go. 406 miner just now showing y'all what some placer gold in a gold pan looks like, everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
If that doesn't give you the gold bug to bite you and give you gold fever, I don't know what will. Unless you need to see Rockbutcher's rock.
I'll tell you, honest to God, up in Clear Creek in the Yukon, I was panning a bit of virgin ground, and I got my first nugget ever. And it was the size of a pinhead. But it was 3-dimensional. I could pick it up, and it went took when I dropped it into the pan. It was there. It was a physical thing. And the only reason that water isn't frozen solid is because it's moving. And so you're in there with your insulated rubber boots, and I'm sitting on a rock in my snow pants, and I've got my insulated rubber gloves on, and my hands are cold, my legs are freezing, my back is broken. And brother, when I swirled that pan around and I saw that little nugget in there, I was ready to go again for another 12 hours. It was like my feet were warm, my back was warm, my hands were warm. I'm like, woohoo, look at that. It's like, yes. And that little pinhead piece of gold, but because everything I'd seen before that was just little colors, and
That's all
it was, I actually got a 3-dimensional. I still have it somewhere wrapped up in a piece of tinfoil. I don't know, one of my boxes, but.
Well,
anyway,
since we're down to the last 20 minutes, what else?
I'm going to just do some porn here.
Okay.
This is a piece of silver ore from the Keno Hill mine in the Yukon, and it's galena. It's too bad that Mary's not here because she has a small piece that I broke off of this. She won in a competition online there a little while ago. But this, you wouldn't believe how heavy that is. And it's full of silver. And that mine had to shut down because they had water problems.
Yeah, you get into water problems here in the U.S., they shut you down quick.
There's a nugget. Except it's a copper nugget. That is an actual copper nugget. That's not a piece of copper that somebody melted and then dropped in the water. That's a copper nugget from Michigan, from the Keweenaw Peninsula. Yeah, it actually comes out of the ground in sheets in some places. And the First Nations there, they're some of the first people, even here around Thunder Bay, with your metal detector, you can find old fish hooks, stuff like that, awls. Even my buddy found a knife, a beautiful, it's got to be about a 6-inch long blade, beautiful patinaed copper knife. And yeah. So yeah, the natives in North America were using copper before Europeans were.
Huh.
Yep. No kidding.
Oh, man. They're going to have to change the textbooks now.
Yeah. That's right. They were. All right. So this is the mineral of Thunder Bay. It's a shame you can't make me bigger. Are you seeing?
Yeah, I see the purple.
This is big, vuggy, vesicular.
Yeah, I was going to say vuggy.
Amethyst. And if you could see it in broad daylight.
I can see the purples. I can see the purples.
Down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's a $600 specimen all day long. And we've got
Awesome.
we got a local mine here that I take the kids to. It's about a half-hour drive out of town, and they give you a 2.5-gallon bucket, and if you fill it right up, they charge you $30. And if you don't fill it all the way up, they prorate it down. You know, like it's like little kids, they might have 3 rocks in. They'll say, "Okay, give me $5."
Yeah.
And I've put thousands of dollars worth of specimens into that $30 bucket that I paid for. So the penultimate piece is, if you look at the dog's tooth pattern on this, these are actually little pyramids. And this is a caliche layer on the outside because it sat in the desert for a long time.
Okay.
When you break open the fresh surface, that's what you get. And that's fluorite. It looks purple
Yeah.
It looks purple like the amethyst, but it's not. And then this side here, we got, I gotta move. Up on the top here, there's greens and browns. And and then the purple amethyst down below. But if you hit this with a black light, it's just stunning. It's absolutely stunning the way it glows.
I want to see the
what?
Stacy wants to see the big rock.
Which one's that, Steve?
the one with 5 grams of gold laying in it.
5 grams.
That's the one where you're going to make me get into a.
I gave that one away. Okay, so the backstory. The backstory here.
Give it to your mom. And
the backstory here. It's not 5 grams, man. It's 5 ounces.
Oh, 5 ounces. Oh, sorry. Ow! Ow! Ow!
You sold it short.
There you go. So the backstory to that bad boy is. We took a blast in. It was a really complicated heading, and the geologist on my cross shift was a young fella, and they didn't want to put him in harm's way, so they one shifted it and gave it to me, and because I was level headed and had lots of experience, and so after the blast, I went in and I disconnected the blast, and look at all that gold over there too. It goes all the way through, big band of it, and disconnected the blast. And this thing was sitting on top of the muck pile, nice and proud. And I looked at it. The miners walked in behind me, and I said, "Dang, I'm going to buy that from the company." And the one miner says, "If you don't, I will."
Yeah.
And so I did. And I paid, this would have been 2003, maybe 2004. Back when gold was $350 an ounce. I paid $1,600 for this rock. Canadian.
Hello,
So
I
this
am
is
Gordon.
about
How are you
300
doing tonight?
Yeah, it's actually 4.5 ounces. We did the dip test on it,
Oh
and I
my
paid
God.
1,600 Canadian for it. And I figure that rock now, with the provenance, because I have it in a display case, I know precisely where it comes from.
Yeah.
The mine, the level, the stope, the geologist. The thing is that I figure it's worth $30,000.
That's got that rock has some prestige,
Yeah.
you know when, who, where, when, how, and all the dots, the I's are dot and the T's are crossed and everything. Hey, you can send it to my house and I'll babysit it.
Yeah. I think we need Gordon to go into timeout for a little while there.
Uh-oh.
I'm typing in.
Not a member. Oh, I just took him out.
Okay.
Link, please. Can I join? Link. Can I join? Link. Can I join?
I don't even know him, so I just typed this.
That's a 14-year-old who's looking to come in and show us a picture of his ass or something like that. So, at any rate, there you go, guys. That's 4.5 ounces of gold. It sits in a display cabinet. And Stacy's right. When I gave it to my mom as a birthday gift, because my mom is the only person in the world more Roman Catholic than the Pope. And every day her little boy was working 1.5 miles underground. She said a prayer for me. So I said, thank you very much, Mom, for all your prayers. And this is my gift to you. And she kept that for darn near 30 years down by her fireplace. And on a sunny day with the sun beaming in through the French doors down there, if she was standing at the counter in the kitchen, she could see the gold on that rock with her naked eye.
Wow.
Well, Richard definitely thinks that's a cool centerpiece for any dining room table. So you got that right.
Yeah.
Definitely got that right.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting down to the end of it. It's hardly 15 minutes left. 13 minutes to go. Brewers prospecting will be starting up at the top of the hour. So this last 10 minutes, I'm going to leave for final words from anybody in the chat. If you got a quick question that we can maybe field to Rock to talk about or answer real quickly, or else I'll leave the last final words for Rockbutcher, of course, and of course 406 Miner, who's my co-host.
Yeah, shoot, guys. And I said to Jim before, I'm bringing a notepad and paper and a notepad and pen, because I tell everybody, I'm still learning. After 36 years, I'm still learning. And there's times when people ask me questions and I'm like, I don't know. but I know where to find the answer, and I'll get back to you. And so that's why I got my pen. So I'm just waiting, because we used to call it Stump the Geologist, and it happened more often than you think.
All right, here's one. Just a general. When new guys do hit a lot of black sand, what is your advice for them to, pull more gold out?
Good question.
And this is just my opinion, all right? If you're just starting out and you got that, do it a little bit at a time in the bottom of your pen. So here's the bottom of your pen. So you've got all your heavies up here, right? Shake your magnetite back if you can a bit. But when you go in with your magnet, and hopefully you got one of those dropper magnets, like you could lift your thumb up and down and let the magnet engage or whatever. Go in, engage, pick it up, and find a clean spot where there's no rocks or anything on the bottom of your pan, but it's underwater. Keep it underwater. You have to keep it underwater, and let it go. And then go back and pick it up again and move it again, and pick it up again and move it again. And what you'll find is that every time you do that in another clean spot in the bottom of your pen, you'll find specks of gold. and other stuff that the magnetite is grabbed as it sucked up to the magnet.
It will just.
Yeah. And so that's the easiest way to do it is pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it. Do that like 3-4 times. And after that, it's like, forget, there might be one piece left in there, and just chuck it. And that's the easiest way, the fastest way to do it. There's recently been, and I can't remember who made it. Maybe you do, Stacy, but if you dry it out, there's a machine made now that splits. It's designed so you can pour your material in the top, and there's a rotating magnet inside that pulls the magnetite off to one side. And lets your non-magnetic, and it splits it into 2 samples. And you might have to run it twice, but Dan Hurd uses one.
Neodymium magnets.
Yeah.
And throws the magnetite off one side, and everything else goes off the other.
Yes, and that thing is the cat's meow. And like I don't know why people haven't looked at turning that thing into an industrial scale and running it like a slurry. Like instead of drying everything out, that takes a long time, and then passing it through dry, because the machine might not work. But with a little engineering tweak here and there, if you could turn that into a slurry and have that thing working, there's a lot of mines that could make a lot of money just reducing that flow to the mill entirely, and not having to deal with it. Because magnetite's horrible to deal with in a mill.
Oh, magnetite's a pain in the
and especially if you're running a roaster, it's and when you get into smelting stuff, like that's why they use autoclaves at most big mines now. They don't roast anymore because an autoclave doesn't generate magnetite, period. It just breaks everything down to nothing. So, and
don't roast your sulfides in your wife's oven.
In your wife's oven at home. That's correct. Please don't. I can't remember who it was that did that, but I'm glad I got in touch with him when he said, "Jim, what temperature should I roast these at in my wife's oven?" I'm like,
it was me.
I wasn't going to throw you under the bus, Stacy, but you fessed up.
I'll admit it. I was an idiot.
The sulfur dioxide it would give off would create sulfuric acid. The inside of your wife's oven would never be the same.
Yeah.
Nor would your kitchen, to be frank.
I've got a question for you, Jim, that I want to ask because Ed, Flash in Your Pan, has had a recurring guest on his channel quite a bit, Andrew from Australia. And he has talked a lot about the flotation process in gold recovery and all that. What's your thoughts and take on flotation?
Tell you the truth, that's a good question for a metallurgist. I'm the boy who makes sure that the material gets to the mill where the metallurgist decides how he's going to process it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's totally not my sandbox. But I know that it works. I know that you've got to tweak the chemistry a lot. Like you've got to stay right on top of it. And it is interesting, but it even gets into organic chemistry, like the soaps they use and stuff like that are actually organic.
I would say get a hold of Eva and
Keith Bowen, yeah.
Keith and Eva, and Keith is.
They would be they'd be good ones to talk to about that for sure. He's got a lot more mill experience than I do.
And what the hell is his YouTube channel?
Good night, Curtis.
Good night, Curtis.
Hard Rock University.
Hard Rock University. Yes.
Yeah, Keith and Eva. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I watch him, but the worst is he talks a little over my head.
Yeah.
I'm just a goofy redneck.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of chuckle every once in a while. He kind of wanders over into my sandbox, and I'm like, Keith. He's like, no, sorry, Rock. What do you think?
I noticed that for sure, but they're good people.
Yeah, they are.
I actually met him for when
Sweet.
I went down to spring dirt fling, 2 springs ago with my son. Keith and Eva just happened to be driving east, going to Boston to meet her kids, and it's like we just were talking. He says, "I'm going to be in Duluth tomorrow morning." And I said, "No kidding, so am I," because I'm coming south from Thunder Bay, and he's going east from North Dakota or wherever the hell they are, and Montana, and it's like, okay, yeah, and so I looked up a place that had a good breakfast diner, and I said, "Okay, let's meet there," and we did, and sat down, had breakfast together, and a long chat. It was great.
Well, I think we're going to take one last question here that Richard asked. I got it pinned up there at the minute. He said, "What's the closest mine to each of us?" Arkansas, Crater of Diamonds, closest thing to me. I'm in northern Louisiana.
Spider Mine in Montana.
Yeah, and me, it would be Lac des Îles Mine, which is palladium, nickel, copper, and platinum.
There you go.
Used to be chief geologist at that mine.
Here's it. You still doing the lithium stuff?
No, they're still trying to raise money.
Oh, are they?
They rely too heavily on, it's a German company. They rely too heavily on the International Monetary Fund and the European environmental things. Like, if they just gave me $500,000, I could probably double the size of that. $1 million would be better.
Yeah.
Totally. I could double the size of their current reserves. But
and then I could come up and help.
Yeah, you certainly could. I'd be happy to have you on the crew, Stacy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Rockbutcher, I would be there every day, every moment,
Well, I'd make sure. And there's nowhere for you to run, so it's not like you're going anywhere. That's why there was a POW camp there.
We'll give Richard one last question as well. He said, "How is platinum mining compared to gold and silver?"
Not a whole lot of difference. The methods are the same. The stuff that we were mining, though, was a lot more diffuse and lower grade, so very, very broad packages of mineralization. And so we couldn't, you don't narrow mine it like a vein. We bulk tonnaged the whole thing. Initially, they were high grading, just the high grade section, but still bulk tonnage, long hole drilling, big 40,000 ton blasts and that kind of thing. And but then we, when the prices went up, we got smarter and we figured out how to drill the whole thing off and start breaking it, and then get underneath it and start just blast it just enough to make it start collapsing all by itself. And that's called sublevel shrinkage, shrinkage caving. And and so we would actually allow the rock to fail on its own. And it engineering intensive, man, lots and lots and lots of drilling, very precise drilling. And then
it's denser.
And then blast just the right places just to get this whole thing starting to unravel all on its own. And then just
platinum is a little heavier than gold, Richard. So it's dense.
Muck from underneath and bring it to surface. So yeah.
Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight, guys. It's 6:58, and we got to wrap things up because Brewers Prospecting is going live now. So any goodbyes you want to utter and say, and then we'll do this again sometime as soon as.
One more question for Rockbutcher.
Oh,
go ahead.
The mine over in Butte, Montana.
Yeah.
Now they are really, with all the water and all that came in, they are finding rare earth. Do you think they would ever open that up again?
They may if the price is right. 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's just got to make economic sense, Oh
yeah.
So,
I was just.
Yeah,
just
that's all there is to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, folks, Jim, I wanted to thank you very much for having me on. And Stacy, it's always
Thank
good
you
to
very
see
much, man. Rockbutcher, you're amazing.
Those of you guys who are still with us in chat, God bless. Richard Green, have a good evening. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you having the time and the graciousness to come upon the channel and to be more than willing to want to do this.
Hey.
I know this is a good thing that you like to do. It's all a part of, being the professional that you are and the master teacher that you are. And I am so grateful and thankful to you, my brother. And let's do this again.
Sounds good. And don't forget about the bug farts. Stacy missed that part. We'll have to do it again sometime.
He can watch. Stacy, thank you for coming up and being my co-host along with me as well, and offering a bunch of nice, good questions to ask and everything else to keep the live going and the questions going. And
I appreciate it.
Fantastic as always. So thank you so much, my friends. We will schedule another time with Rockbutcher when he's got availability, and he says, yeah, let's certainly do it again. So stay tuned for when we announce a next coming time with Jim, the Rockbutcher, and continue on with all the gold mining talk and doing placer or hard rock mine. And my utmost thanks is definitely to him.
No problem, man. Next episode will be Tales from Underground that you don't tell your mother.
There you go. There you go.
Those ones where you go.
Well, I want to thank everybody who's participated and came in the chat and has helped, questions and everything else. Thank you for sharing this out as well. We certainly do appreciate it. Go back and rewatch this, catch it from the beginning. It's a wealth of information. And if you're interested in this kind of stuff, it's a lot of information at once sometimes for people. It's always good to do a rewatch and catch what you missed the first time. And again, bring your pen and paper and take notes.
Yeah.
And
all right, good night, all. Take care.
That's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you so much, and have a good night. And take care, and bye-bye. Big red button.
Guys.